Hello and welcome to the LLG Grapevine podcast. But before we start this week's podcast, many of you will have heard the news, but we're incredibly sad to report the untimely death of Suki Binjal, a passionate and driven lawyer within our local government community. Now, many of you will know Suki personally or will have met her at one of our many conferences, but as a past president, she has shaped LLG and the organisation into what we are today, with a strong focus on diversity, and she has continued to champion the local government community as council member at the Law Society. Now, many of you will want to express your grief and share your stories. Please do get in touch. So today you're listening to Deborah Evans, CEO at LLG, and Simran Panesar, our intern responsible for legal training, membership support and projects. How are you today, Simran?
Hi, Deborah. I'm well, thank you. I'm really sorry to hear about sad news.
Indeed, I think it's shocked a lot of people in the community. Before we get on to the news of local government, what's been going on with LLG that you've been involved in?
So we've just gone out with a save the date for our governance conference. I know that many members have been asking about it, but because of the announced general election and concern over the date, we weren't able to go ahead and book. And then, of course, it was rather a dash for our members to get ready for the July election and then summer holidays and recess. So this year, we're doing something a little bit different. We're holding the conference on the 13th of December at the offices of Trowers and Hamlins in London. And I, for one, am looking forward to the opportunity of some Christmas shopping whilst in London.
Well, it is a great time of the year to come to London, and it will be a festive conference, but no less on point for our members, with plenty of networking opportunities as ever. So what else is causing a stir in the local government world that caught your eye, Simran?
Well, front page of the MJ covers the news that there's a growing call for an independent body to distribute funding to local authorities in a quote, fair way. Now, the source for this is coming from the special interest group of municipal authorities ahead of the budget, who are saying that politics could be taken out of distribution. Whilst most sector organisations aren't publicly backing this call yet, and the government hasn't commented itself, the County Councils Network have said that whilst reform to the distribution of funding is both inevitable and necessary, stability is the key to any reform.
Well, there's a link in the bulletin to a report by Room 151, which states that we have reached a point in local government where the funding system is fundamentally wrong and we are running out of options. And that comes from panellists at Room 151's monthly online Treasury briefing. The article is actually titled "The Jaws of Doom Are Closing on Local Government," which is dramatic, but actually, is it accurate as well? The sector needs immediate financial redress. It's interesting to read, actually, that in respect of the Fair Funding Review, the Fair Funding Working Party has not met since 2019.
I did some research on this, Deborah, and I couldn't find very much at all, aside from consultative work that the LGA was doing back in 2018. The House of Commons Library produced a report this year, back in June, entitled Reviewing and Reforming Local Government Finance. Within that, it stated that the government's third consultation was published on 11th December 2018 and proposed that the foundation formula should be allocated purely on the basis of population. It stated that its analysis showed that population alone explained 88.1% of all variation in past expenditure. Adding deprivation as an additional cost driver increased the proportion of all variation explained by 4 percentage points. But that seems to be the last word.
And if the last word was in 2018, that is a cause for concern. But we know the autumn budget will land on the 30th of October, and we've already been warned by the government that taxes are likely to rise. But we can only speculate, and we won't do that now, but rather move on to something else, raising some eyebrows in the planning world. Now, LLG recently held a Southern regional meeting where we received some training from Anthony Collins on the government's plan changes to the National Planning Policy Framework. Now, that's available on the website to view on demand. However, the LGA too have raised some concerns and in their bulletin by calling on ministers to ensure that local councils and the priorities of communities are not ignored. The NPPF, which outlines the government's proposals for strategic planning, includes shifting planning to cover functional economic areas, with mayors drawing up spatial development strategies. The LGA said that communities should have a meaningful voice and role, and moves to regional approaches should be led at a local or locally agreed level.
Well, I know that the NPPF proposals strengthen the brownfield first approach, and I believe that proposals for development should now be regarded as acceptable in principle. However, according to a blog by Shoesmiths, where housing, commercial, or other identified needs cannot be met, authorities are now required to review their greenbelt boundaries and must allocate land to meet needs in full, unless there is clear evidence that alterations would fundamentally undermine the function of the greenbelt across the area of the plan as a whole. There's a whole lot more to this, of course, so I would definitely recommend visiting the resource hub of the LLG website and catching up on that training course Deborah referred to.
Absolutely. And just a reminder that there is a wide range of on-demand webinars on the Resource Hub, free to members to watch, so do take a look. Now, leaving planning behind, let's take a look at the world of standards, a favourite topic of LLG and one that we've been campaigning on for a very long time. Of course, we have maintained and still do that a standards regime within local government that doesn't have sanctions is a toothless tiger, and an article by Sir Jonathan Jones, KC, sets out his view that if the government is serious about raising standards within its own house, then it should introduce primary legislation to bring in lasting change, stating, I quote, "Words on a page are not enough. What matters is whether the principles are complied with in practice. That requires detailed rules and effective mechanisms for interpreting, applying and enforcing them." Now, this could equally apply to local government.
The Labour manifesto did say it would create a new independent Ethics and Integrity Commission with an independent chair, but we don't, as of yet, know anything about what that will actually look like, or indeed, when we might expect it. The government does have an advisor on ministerial interests in Sir Laurie Magnus, but no ministerial code as of yet.
Well, here at LLG, we believe that conduct at the national level informs conduct at the local level, and a starting point would be to go back to the 2019 recommendations from the Committee on Standards in Public Life. That, and of course, a whole rethink of the local authority machinery. But let's take one step at a time, as long as we are, in fact, taking those steps. And on that note, you can read more on the items discussed today and many, many more besides by going to Bulletin 36, available on the LLG website now. So it's goodbye from me.
And from me too.
Goodbye.